Welcome to this module. In this module, we'll be looking at solar cell, CCD, DMOS, VMOS, Power BJT and Power MOSFET. Let us now first discuss about solar cell. The solar cell operates on the principle of photovoltaic action, that is the conversion of light energy into electrical energy. So it is also called as photovoltaic cell. And the voltage developed by the solar cell depends on the intensity of light. That is, higher the light intensity, higher is the voltage. When photons are incident on semiconductor material, the electrons in the covalent bond get energy from these photons and they will be released from their bond. And this effect is known as photoelectric effect or photovoltaic effect. What we see here is the construction of solar cell, and the materials used for the construction are usually silicon or selenium. The solar cell consists of P-type and N-type material, and the bottom surface is covered with the conductive coating, and to which a wire lead is attached, as you can see in the diagram, and the upper surface has a maximum area exposed to light, sunlight or any type of light, with a small contact either along the edge or around the perimeter. And as I said earlier, when the p-n junction of the solar cell is illuminated, electron hole paths will be generated, and the electric field will be established near the junction by positive and negative ions created due to the production of electron hole path. And usually the output obtained from a single cell will be very less, in the order of 0.6 volt or 0.5 volt. So the cells will be cascaded to get higher voltages. Solar cell can be used in many applications such as automatic street light, emergency light, and it can be used as a solar panel for domestic supplies. And the next device which you are going to see is CCD. CCD is nothing but charge coupled devices. The CCD are dynamic devices which move charge along a predetermined path under the control of clock pulses. When a positive voltage is applied to a gate electrode, like you can see in this graph, as you can see in this diagram, the electric field will be produced. Due to the holes under the electrode gets repelled away from this region, a potential well is created. And this potential well is created in this P substrate. And if the voltage applied at the next electrode is increased, the packet of electrons will move towards that electrode. That is how the charge transfer takes place. And the charge transfer can take place in various techniques such as 2-phase, 3-phase, 4-phase and so on. And the height of the potential well is controlled by using wires connected to clock, and the charge packets can be pushed or pulled along the line of the CCD. Next we will discuss about DMOS. DMOS is nothing but double diffused MOSFET, and this device has a shorter channel between drain and source than conventional MOSFET. What we have seen here is the cross-sectional view of the DMOS. Here the P region and N plus region are diffused through common window. Okay. And the channel length is decided by the difference between the diffusion distance of P base and N plus source, which is very short here. And the electrons enter into the source terminal and laterally flow through the layer under the gate to the N drift region. And then the electrons flow vertically to the drain terminal through N drift region. And DMOS, this is because the DMOS has higher breakdown voltages and low on resistance. And the main applications of DMOS are, it can be used in switching applications, inkjet printheads, and automobile control electronics and power supplies. Next we will see about VMOS, which stands for vertical MOSFET. And this device will have a V-shaped groove, and this groove helps to increase the power handling capacity and current handling capacity of this device. It consists of a double diffused N plus and P region, which is cut by a V-shaped groove. The groove is then coated with silicon dioxide followed by gate electrode. The vertical structure of VMOS, that is, it allows the use of low doped drain region which has high blocking voltage. And the main disadvantage of VMOS is it is more complex and more expensive also. Next we'll discuss about POWER BJT. The POWER BJT has a vertically oriented 4-layer structure and they can be used as high speed switches. It has very large power handling capacity. Here you can see the construction of POWER BJT. An extra N- region you can see what is diffused which increases the voltage blocking capacity of the transistor. This N- region is also called as collector drift region. And here is the VI characteristics of POWER BJT. It can be seen as 4 different regions. In cutoff region, almost the base current is 0 and hence there won't be any collector current and the transistor will also be in the off state. In active region, for an increase in VCE, collector current IC will also increase slightly. In quasi-state region, that is this region will not exist in normal BJT and the device can be used as a switch in this region. When IB is increased more, the POWER BJT gets driven into hot saturation region. In this region, both the junctions will be in the forward biased condition. And the power MOSFET is same as that of conventional MOSFET, but the power handling capacity of power MOSFET is much greater than conventional MOSFET and it has large forward transconductance. And here you can see the construction of power MOSFET. It consists of an N substrate and N plus substrate and N minus epitaxial layer into which the P and N plus regions are embedded, as you can see in the diagram. Since the source is placed in top and the drain is placed at the bottom, the electrons flow vertically in this device also. So as a result, on-state resistance is much lower in power MOSFET. And what we see here is the transfer and output characteristics of power MOSFET. Thank you.